Okay, let's try this again. Welcome, fellow GroundClouders, to the Peak Season Success webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about best practices and solutions to maximize efficiency within Descartes GroundCloud. My name is Michelle. Many of you have probably spoken to me before if you've called into GroundCloud. I've been around for about 4 years. And a little bit of my past history is I actually worked for FedEx for 6 years as an admin. It was way back in the day when FedEx Ground and home delivery were still split, and the home delivery department was kind of my baby. During that time, I did marry a contractor, so I was a contractor's wife and kind of flipped sides and was on the P&D side. After we sold, I did stay on with 2 of our additional contractor friends. So I've got a lot of experience behind me and have absolutely seen how it was before GroundCloud, after GroundCloud, and GroundCloud is definitely a game changer. Definitely a game changer. So we're going to talk about some of the different things today. Here's our agenda, some of the things that we will be going through. And we're just going to get right on it. So Peak Hardware, if you have not reached out about ordering additional tablets, this is the time to do it. So we do have a couple of cellular partners, one of them being Verizon. Verizon will offer you free tablets with a contract at $20 a month for the data service on those. They can be reached at verizon@groundcloud.com. And we also have T-Mobile that does partner with us. It's best to email them for their best and current offers, but that would be tmobile@groundcloud.com. Best practice also is to send tablets or have the cellular company send tablets to GroundCloud for MDM enrollment. And we have shown the address of GroundCloud on the screen here, 920 2nd Avenue South, Suite 1225, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55402. Along with your iPads, you will need additional Vetter for your Peak rentals. We do have the Air 2 Vetter device available. QR code will lead you directly to the store to order those. These are the same devices that you are currently using in your Schedule B vehicles. They are also approved for your rental vehicles. There's simple installation. They are an MV plus AI device. And again, they can be used in either a Schedule B or your rental vehicle. They are an OBD2 connection, so easy plug and play. Also, don't forget to order additional scanners. GroundCloud is not your scanner provider, so you will need to reach out to your particular scanner vendor. That could be Peak Technology or Velociter. So don't forget to order those scanners, but don't call GroundCloud for that. Okay, let's jump right into adding additional drivers. This will be something that you'll want to do for your drivers or for your jumpers. Okay, so very easy to add your drivers. You've probably done this before, but you'll go down to the drivers tab, and then in the upper right-hand corner, you will see the add driver yellow action button. That'll lead you to the next page to create your driver profile. GroundCloud does recommend that you use their FedEx ID number as their username. Along with adding in your additional drivers, we do have the driver documents tab, and that's where you can upload the med card and the driver's license with the expiration date. And GroundCloud does give you a notification before those documents do expire. Nice little feature. You will also need to add in your vehicles and create those vehicle profiles. You do need to do this for your rental vehicles also, okay? So you will want to go down to your vehicles tab, and then in the upper right-hand corner, again, add vehicle. Once you've had your vehicles added and you've had your devices added, you will need to assign that vehicle to that Vetter device. Under the fleet management section, which is where you'll find your vehicles, we do have several very nice features in here that I hope you all are utilizing. One, you can schedule maintenance reminders. You can actually have those maintenance reminders create a work order, or you can create your own work orders. Just some great little things, you know, help you with your fleet management of maintenance. We also have your pre-trip and your post-trip inspections. These are for you. The information in GroundCloud does not flow backwards to FedEx. So this is where you want to encourage your drivers to be honest on their pre-trip inspection. Like, hey, I've got a marker light out. That's going to give you a chance to get that marker light fixed before it's redlined, before your vehicle is redlined. Also, you can do your monthly maintenance reports through GroundCloud. Great time-saving feature. To initially set that up, you'll go down into reports and then go to maintenance record or reports, and you'll get that set up initially. And then under the fleet management section, under maintenance records, this is where you'll just add all of those in. It takes just minutes of time to create those. Also for the MMRs, the odometer reading will be pulled from what your driver is putting in for their pre-trip and post-trip inspections. Timekeeping will start, the hours of service will start for your driver as soon as they log into the app. You will also, your driver does not have to be assigned to a route. So if you have a jumper that's signing in, they do not have to be assigned into a route to actually clock in. Jumpers, maybe your driver is picking them up a town or two away from the terminal, because they're just going to help for a few hours. We also have the manual clock in here through the driver's app, so they could clock in and clock out through the manual time card. The reason they might need to use that is your clock in time for logging in might be tied to the geofencing of the terminal. The clock in report also, your time card makes it easy for payroll management. So just a great feature also. Dispatching routes. We're going to talk about dispatching routes, no van scans, and time commits. So if you're not dispatching your routes, it is extremely important that you do dispatch. That's when your routes will actually optimize in the best algorithm order. So to dispatch your routes, very easy, just takes a few seconds each morning. You'll go down into the routes. You'll click on that one little action box there that's next to work area name. That will highlight all of your enabled or synced routes. You'll click that. We've got a little video showing, hopefully you can see it here, but you'll click the go button and then you'll confirm. And that's when your routes will all optimize. GroundCloud optimization has been proven to save you between 5 and 15% on your fuel usage, just because of it being nicely optimized. So back in the day when, before DRO or FRO, we had VRP, and I was running a little country route, and I had used VRP one day, and then I used GroundCloud optimization the next. Ran very similar routes both days, and it saved me about 45 minutes running by the GroundCloud. So it started me off kind of like a teardrop. Started me off in the first little small town and ran me all down the southern section, looped me around to the northern area and back towards the terminal. So it did save a lot of time. That equates not only to time for your driver, it's less fuel and less wear and tear on those vehicles. So I was very impressed with GroundCloud when I first started using it. No van scan reports. I really hope that you guys are already utilizing this. If you are not, this is how you're going to get this set up. You're going to come down into the very bottom section of your dashboard and go to contacts and terminals. And then underneath your terminal, you will see this email address. This is for your company. And that's the email address that you would need to give to your terminal management. Could be your P&D manager, could be just one of the admin, whoever is sending out that no van scan report or NBS or missed scan report, whatever your terminal is calling it today. You'll need to make sure that whoever is sending that has that added to that list. Once that email is sent, so it's only as good as the terminal sending out that email, but once that email is sent, those missing stops do populate on your driver's routes. Time commits. Time commits we've added for the incoming express volume. And we've also combined the pickups into the time commit tab. So there's a lot of information in here for all of your time commit deliveries. Those will show up as triangles on your driver's app. And the window on those does correlate to the color. So if a delivery is due by 10:30 in the morning, you can see it's going to be indicated as red. And, you know, that can really help be visually available to your driver and hopefully help with some of your efficiencies with those time commits. And here's a little video of how that looks. We've got the deliveries, we've got the pickups. You can do a lot of filtering on this page between all, not complete. Not complete is going to be by default. One other thing that I'm going to kind of show is you can click on this. You have to look really close, but where it says close, you can click on that, and it's going to show you the end time. Right now, by default, it will show you by route number, but maybe I would prefer it to be by the close time, making sure that we're getting them there on time. Some additional features that we have are scanner location plotting, hyperlinked tracking numbers. This is probably one of my, it is one of my top 3 favorite features that GroundCloud has added. And then we also have the new stop package search, which you can see here. You just type in your tracking number. It is a new tab along the left side of your dashboard there, and then you'll get a little information. Michelle, how does the hyperlink tracking work? That's a very good question. So when you're looking at your route, you will hyper zoom in to your route. And when you do that, you will notice that you're going to see that little barcode. The barcode indicates exactly where that scanner was closed out at. And if you click on the barcode, it's going to show you the little information there. And you can click on that tracking number and it will hyperlink you straight to the FedEx tracking page. The reason that I love this feature is it can really help you with your missed deliveries, with your disputes, with your complaints. You can really start to see things. Also, if a driver's closed out that stop a long way from that where it should have been closed, it's going to help you with that missed delivery, but you're going to see the dotted line all the way over to where it was, where it started and where it was closed. Some additional package features. We have the package scan. This is great if FCC goes down and nothing is populating. It seems to happen at least once during peak. Your drivers can actually use their device. We're showing the little graphic of it now, but they can use their device. They can scan the label on that and it will populate a manifest for them. So they do have to scan those packages. We also have the address notes. Another thing that I really love is the address notes. Very easy for the driver to add these notes in. Okay, so they just will click on the address box. It'll give them the edit. They go down to address notes and you'll notice that it is showing, anything that they've added does show underneath that address box. And that will stay there for the next delivery and the next delivery and the next delivery. So if you've got different drivers, you're moving those route lines a little bit and you got different drivers running those routes. If there's specific instructions or something, that will stay with that address. Another feature that we didn't show here is we do show the exceptions and your exceptions on the overview page. Those are things that can just help you with your service. So keep an eye on those. Peak safety best practices. So best practice is always be proactive. GroundCloud is sending out the proactive safety training on Wednesdays and Saturdays. those are in the forms of just, that short video with a short quiz afterwards. That video is unskippable that first time. Hopefully the driver is watching it and answering all the questions correctly. If they do not, they do have to take that quiz over again. Another thing that I would recommend would be safety meetings, especially during peak. It's just important to stay connected with your drivers. Try to keep them upbeat with everything. They tend to get a little overwhelmed with the amount of volume, and then if you add in any kind of weather issues, it can be very stressful for them, and just the sizes of the packages. So, during your safety meetings, talk about driving habits, or if you've had something that's happened, like, hey, bring it up, and how could we have done something different here to prevent this? Road hazards, obviously that's going to be weather, and safety first for your driver. Safety first for your driver. It's more important to have your driver come home safe that evening than to get all of those packages delivered. I know FedEx, can kind of tend to push, but we want all the drivers to come home safe to their families in the evening. And managing the package volume, that can also mean the size of their packages. Those are heavy, so just remind them about lifting techniques or using a hand cart, that kind of thing. One thing that we kind of have done, and some of my friends still do, during their safety meetings, they might come in with a handful of $10 bills. So they might just start asking some questions, and then whoever answers the question correctly gets a $10 bill. I mean, that's a great thing for a driver to have at lunchtime. Maybe if they've had an accident, you kind of exclude them from that, but maybe you still want them to answer a question. But, however you want to do it, but, just some different things. So, you've done breakfast one day, you've done lunch one day, you've done a safety meeting where you're giving them $10. I mean, these are just some things to help keep your drivers connected and hopefully aware of their surroundings. GroundCloud also has additional safety training, or a supplemental training library. And if you have not looked at it, it is in your safety section, and it's at the very bottom of that, it'll say supplemental training. And you can see we have this very long library of videos that you can choose from. You can actually preview that. We showed, this one is not a video. Most of them are. If it doesn't say video next to it, it's probably going to be the text like that. But, we have just a whole long list of videos that you can choose. Also from the supplemental training page, that's where you can show when you did assign that and when the driver did complete that training. So if they've had an accident or an incident, this is what I would be giving them, is a little extra training in relation to whatever happened. Better best practices. First of all, you're going to want to order your extra devices for your extra vehicles and check those installations. So you want to monitor the installation, the position of those cameras. Very important that you do that. Also important that you're checking those event notifications. So if we are looking at some better install tips, we want to unassign the old device or disassociate the vehicle from the old device, and then activate the new device. Within the portal, the serial numbers can be found. There's a serial number and there's a password. I think it's listed as a Wi-Fi password. Those can be found on the device itself or in the installation guide. The serial number is also on the box, but the password is not. And then installing with correct camera positioning is extremely important. FedEx is now monitoring the camera obstructions and the suboptimal views. So very important for that. If you're having any issues, GroundCloud support is available 7 days a week. Got the telephone number listed here, 218-864-7900, option 2, or service desk at Descartes.com. We've got a great team that's always happy to help. So we're going to talk just for a moment about camera positioning. So with your road view, you want to make sure that the horizon is just above the middle of the road view. So we do have a picture here. And then for the driver view, we want to make sure that the entire body of the entire face of the driver is showing. And then we want to see that the cab is very much showing here. You also notice I see a safety issue in looking at this picture, and that is that the bulkhead door is open. To me, that is, something that you really want to encourage your drivers to close that bulkhead door. If they have to slam on their brakes really quickly, or say they get hit from behind, all of that freight is going to end up in the front of the cab with that driver. I don't want to hear of any drivers getting hurt because of that. I've heard some horror stories from your fellow contracting friends, and I don't want that to happen to anybody. And I've seen some pretty yucky things happen myself. So with the Vetter events, from the events tab in the Vetter section, you can just click on, the date. Anything in blue is a hyperlink to another page, so that's going to hyperlink us. And then you can watch those videos. If you're looking at an event that says no seatbelt, and you're looking at it and you're like, that driver's wearing the seatbelt, it's just really got his coat camouflaging that seatbelt, but it's there. You can always click on the dispute button. So we kind of show it where it is here, and then just kind of put a little, reason why you're disputing it, and somebody will review that. GroundCloud does have Gusto embedded payroll available to you. It's just another thing that we've added to help keep everything under one roof for you, so that you can manage your company efficiently. Some of the onboarding tips, just make sure that you're adding in your new temp drivers. The best time, actually, which is coming up to switch payroll providers, is at the beginning of the year. That way you don't have to add in all of your past payrolls. So, that's coming up very soon, something to consider with GroundCloud. Within the system, first you're going to set up your overtime configuration, and then you're going to put in your driver's pay. So this is from the driver tab. You'll have a new little compensations if you decided to do payroll with GroundCloud. And then you can also set it up, with a stop threshold or the metric pay. And GroundCloud will help you compute all of that. You will upload your settlement statement and, run your payroll automation, and it's pretty slick, pretty handy. GroundCloud is also partnering with our CPA. That's coming soon to your dashboard, probably at some point next year. But our CPA does have a great field card that I hear a lot of wonderful things about. So it is nice that we're going to be bringing that to you. Here's kind of what their dashboard looks like here. And then this is what we envision that it'll look like on the driver app. So it'll be nice. It'll be showing where those gas stations are. I also think of, those country drivers, they'll know where they can get fuel if they need it, and also where that restroom will be. GroundCloud is also partnering with Compass 68, which will be your workman's comp insurance. We do have a mega bundle, and I would call and talk to our sales team about that if you're interested, but you do have to be a Compass 68, work with workman's comp, work with one of those insurance companies. So here's just a little bit more about that. And next, we're going to talk about Michelle's tips and tricks. So keeping your drivers engaged is very important. So in the mornings, at least once a week, we would bring in a breakfast pizza or donuts, or our team loved Chick-fil-A breakfast sandwiches. So we'd bring those in. We also had one of the contractors' wives had her own restaurant, so we would have her make us a bunch of breakfast sandwiches. So we would try to do that at least once a week. And we would also give our drivers a sack lunch. Especially if it was going to be a busy day, we'd just make them up a lunch. We'd throw some sandwich, some, fruit and some veggies and some nuts and cookies, whatever we could think of, just some little snacks that they could, easily grab and eat throughout the day. Because they're running, they're working extra hard, they're burning extra calories. So we just wanted to show that we appreciated them. Something else that, that we provided were the ice cleats and hand warmers and toe warmers. I guess the way we looked at it is, they might go through several pairs of ice cleats. We are in the snow country, so they might go through several pairs of ice cleats during the season. But spending $100 on all of this per driver was certainly better than the alternative of needing having a driver out for an injury and having that workman's comp claim. We chose these ice cleats. There's, this style is kind of like a spring. We chose this style over the spikes because the spikes can damage businesses' flooring. So we didn't want to have that liability either. So that's why I showed this one. Also, this is a roll of dot stickers. What do you think you might use this for? Okay, I am going to show you what we did use this for. So with everybody getting all of, a whole new fleet of rental vehicles, what we would do is we would take something like this and just cut them off the roll and then just tape them into the inside of the windshield. That way, all of the drivers knew that our vehicles were marked with the purple dot. And then maybe one of the other contractors would do green and another one would do orange. When you kind of start something in the building, everybody likes it. So be the hero in your building and come up with this great idea, and I bet everybody will run with it. It really does make a difference. This was like a 2-inch dot, but you can even put like your company name on it if you needed to. And again, just tape it into the inside window. I would not stick that on the outside of your window. It's not going to last, first of all, but just tape it on the inside. Works great. Don't forget about your hand trucks. Make sure that your drivers have all the supplies that they need. They're going to need hand trucks. They're going to need their winter FedEx branded apparel. They are going to need their bags and their door tags and obviously scanners and iPads. So just make sure that they have all of the tools that they need in their toolbox. Little overview here. Also wanted to talk about peak hiring really quickly. If you're having trouble with peak hiring, we found that giving our drivers an incentive to bring in their friends was a great way to get just some of those peak drivers. So a lot of them knew people that were in seasonal jobs that were kind of laid off during the winter months, and they were always very happy to come and help. And so we'd offer our driver like $200 bonus or $300 bonus for bringing in additional drivers. And I'll tell you what, we would say, hey, if you bring in somebody, they get approved and they make it through the peak season without, calling out constantly, and they just make it through, then that's when they would get that that bonus. So usually we'd give it to them like right a few days before Christmas. Also, peak retention. Our drivers that, we'd throw everybody's name into a hat that hadn't missed any days and hadn't had any accidents or incidences. We'd throw everybody's name into a hat, and during one of our morning meetings, we would draw a name out, and that person would get a $500 Visa card. I'll tell you what, little things like that go a long way. Again, we tried to do that a couple of days before Christmas so they could still maybe purchase some Christmas gifts for their family or just to help them out. We're going to open it up to questions and answers. and we'll try to give you answers anyway. So do we have any questions today?
It looks like someone is asking, is there a possibility of having training over scanning packages, proximity door tags, a status code, and proper uniform as extra coaching?
That GroundCloud would do, or some of that is a little bit on the FedEx side. Definitely you're going to want them to be wearing their uniform. People are already skeptical, so you just want to keep your driver safe. That's why it is so important that they are wearing a uniform. Proper door scanning or door tag scanning. Gosh, I wish that we did have a video on that, but that is more on the FedEx side. What else did you mention there, Colleen?
Status codes, door tags.
Okay, status codes. I will tell you, at our terminal, we did have a list that we could get from the office, and we had a very nice lady in the office that would even like shrink that down just a little bit for us and laminate it. And then we would hand those out. I forgot about that until you mentioned it, but we would hand those out to our drivers too, and they would have just a nice little laminated list of the status codes that they could keep in their vehicles. I don't know if your terminal will do that, but if you can have them give you that list, you can go and have those made and laminated yourself. Do we have any other questions? I believe you all will receive a copy of this video today. It does have all of the help articles linked in here. So this, is a nice that we've added this in here. And then I just want to thank everybody for joining today. I know that you've taken time out of your busy schedule, and everybody's just really trying to get ready for peak right now. So we do thank you for joining us today. And I wish you all a very safe peak season this year. So thank you for joining.